Welcome back to our channel where we dive deep into the world of rare coins, hidden treasures, and the astonishing stories behind everyday objects that could be worth a fortune. And today's story is one of the most mind-blowing tales in the numismatic world, so sit back, hit that like button, and get ready to hear how a single 2006 1-cent coin ended up being worth an unbelievable $25 million due to a combination of minting errors, manufacturing defects, historical context, collector demand, and the almost mythical rarity that makes it one of the most desirable pieces ever discovered by collectors, investors, and enthusiasts alike. Because when we talk about the US penny, or the humble 1-cent coin, the last thing that comes to mind is a multi-million-dollar price tag, and yet in this remarkable case, a coin that was initially minted to be worth just 1 cent skyrocketed in value due to an astonishing series of mistakes, oversights, and anomalies that would be nearly impossible to replicate even in a controlled minting environment. And before we delve into what went wrong, and what went so gloriously right in terms of value, you need to understand how pennies are supposed to be made in the first place, because the US Mint follows extremely strict protocols and employs high-precision machinery to ensure that each coin is struck correctly, using the right materials, right dies, and correct alignment. Yet sometimes, whether due to human error, equipment malfunction, or strange anomalies in the minting facility, things go sideways, and in the case of the 2006 penny that reportedly fetched $25 million in a private collector auction, every conceivable type of minting error somehow manifested itself in a single coin, creating what experts consider to be a perfect storm of mistakes that transformed a piece of copper-plated zinc into a legendary artifact. So what exactly happened to this coin? Why is it so valuable? And how can a simple coin minted in the modern era become one of the most prized pieces in American numismatic history? Well, let's start with the composition, because as of 1982, the US Mint transitioned from 95% copper pennies to pennies made mostly of zinc with a thin copper plating to reduce production costs, and the 2006 penny was supposed to follow that composition. But this particular coin was found to be made entirely of a mysterious alloy that included an unusually high percentage of pure copper along with traces of nickel and silver, materials not found in normal penny production, which has led experts to believe that it may have been a test strike or an experimental piece that was never meant to enter circulation, possibly struck during an equipment calibration phase or even as part of a discontinued experimental batch of coins using alternate metal compositions, which by itself would make the coin extremely rare. But that's just the beginning, because the planchette, or the blank disc used to strike the coin, appears to have been slightly oversized and of irregular thickness, which contributed to a strange distortion in the coin's rim, giving it a lipped, almost concave edge unlike anything seen in regular production. And when examining the obverse side, or the head side featuring Abraham Lincoln, experts noted a dramatic double die error, where the image of Lincoln's face and the inscriptions like "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the year 2006 were all double to the point where they appear shadowed or echoed, indicating a misalignment of the die during the striking process. And these kinds of errors are usually caught immediately in quality control, but somehow this coin escaped detection, which alone would have made it a desirable collectible. And yet there's more, because the reverse side, or tail side, featuring the Lincoln Memorial, displayed one of the rarest and most bizarre anomalies ever recorded: a rotated die strike combined with an off-center misalignment and what appears to be an overstrike from a different denomination, possibly a dime, suggesting that the coin may have accidentally been struck using multiple dies in a chaotic sequence. And this kind of mint error is practically unheard of in modern minting operations where precision is king, so for all of these errors to occur in one coin is statistically near impossible. And even more astonishing is the presence of a visible mint mark error, as the usual D-P for Denver or Philadelphia mints was replaced by an unknown mark that doesn't correspond with any official US Mint designation, leading some to believe the coin may have been struck in a subcontracted or experimental facility under unusual circumstances, adding even more mystery and value. And while physical errors play a huge part in its worth, the provenance of the coin is just as significant, as its first appearance was in the possession of a former Mint employee who claimed to have discovered it among a batch of discarded planchets during a routine inspection, and fearing termination or disciplinary action, they held onto the coin in secrecy for years before eventually showing it to a private collector who immediately recognized its potential significance. And after being authenticated by multiple grading agencies including PCGS and NGC, the coin was given an unprecedented MS-70 error grade with multiple designations for double die, off-center strike, wrong planchette, rotated die, and mystery composition, a combination of features never before seen in a single coin, and as word of the coin's existence spread among the numismatic elite, it became the subject of fierce bidding wars, eventually culminating in a confidential private auction where the final hammer price reached an eye-popping $25 million, instantly placing it among the most valuable coins in history alongside classics like the 1933 St. Gordon's Double Eagle and the 1794 Flowing Hair Silver Dollar. And what makes this coin even more fascinating is the speculative intrigue around whether it was a freak accident or the result of intentional sabotage or experimentation within the mint, as some conspiracy-minded collectors believe it may have been a prototype for an unreleased coin series or even a covert test for new anti-counterfeiting measures involving layered metal compositions and unusual die strikes, though no official confirmation has ever been issued by the US Mint, adding layers of intrigue and driving up its allure on the open market. And to this day, numismatists, coin hunters, and historians continue to debate the origin and legitimacy of the coin's features, though its authenticity has been verified by every major certification authority, and countless scans, metallurgical tests, and historical checks have failed to produce any similar specimen, leading experts to call it a one-of-one, a true unicorn in the world of modern coinage. And what's even more amazing is that because this coin came from the 2006 penny batch, which saw billions of coins minted, the idea that one single piece could have escaped quality control with so many anomalies is so statistically unlikely that it raises eyebrows to this day. And now you're probably wondering, could there be more of them out there, hidden in penny jars, forgotten drawers, or coin rolls waiting to be discovered? And the answer is technically yes, but realistically, the chance of finding another coin with this exact combination of rare errors and historical context is astronomically low, yet that doesn't stop people from looking. And for good reason, because the US penny, especially those minted between 2000 and 2010, are known to have a few scattered minting issues that can command thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars depending on condition and rarity. So if you've got a stash of old change lying around, it might be worth digging through to see if you're holding onto a fortune. Because while finding a $25 million penny is like winning the numismatic lottery, stranger things have happened, and the very existence of this coin proves that miracles of error and circumstance can come together to create something of immense historical and monetary value. And this story also serves as a reminder of how much passion and depth there is in the world of coin collecting, where even the smallest denomination can hold unimaginable worth, and every tiny imperfection can tell a story that spans decades, jobs, reputations, and fortunes. So, next time you see a penny on the sidewalk, maybe think twice before you walk past it, because you never know if it might just be the next $1 million mistake. Next, we dive deep into the world of rare coins, shocking values, and the fascinating stories that make even the smallest denominations worth a fortune. Today's video is going to completely blow your mind because we're about to uncover how a humble 2015 D1 cent coin, yes, a single penny, became one of the most talked about coins in the collector's market and reportedly reached a staggering value of over $4 million. And no, this isn't some internet myth or urban legend, this is a real phenomenon, backed by facts, numismatic anomalies, and the wild world of minting errors that turn pocket change into a millionaire's dream. So sit tight and get ready for a detailed, non-stop exploration of how such an ordinary coin could end up being more valuable than many luxury homes, cars, and even stocks. First, let's understand that coin collecting, or numismatics, is a field where rarity, condition, historical context, and of course, minting mistakes, all collide to give certain coins astronomical value. And the 2015 D penny is a perfect storm of all these elements, starting with the fact that this coin was minted at the Denver Mint in the year 2015, a year that doesn't usually stand out for US coinage. But what makes this particular coin an extreme outlier is the presence of several overlapping minting errors that were not only rare individually, but have, according to collectors and grading services, never before been found all together on a single coin, making it a unique specimen that defies all expectations for modern coin production standards. In the world of coin errors, there are different types that can occur, like off-center strikes, double dies, die cracks, planchette errors, wrong planchette types, broad strikes, misalignments, cuds, clipped planchets, and more. And while any one of these can increase a coin's value significantly depending on the rarity and condition, the 2015 D penny in question appears to be a Frankenstein's monster of sorts, not just having one or two errors, but a combination of several that make experts scratch their heads in disbelief. Reportedly, the coin features a dramatic off-center strike, which alone could raise its value to hundreds or even thousands of dollars. But that's only the beginning, because alongside this major misalignment, there's clear evidence of a double die obverse, where the inscriptions on the front of the coin, like Liberty and the date, appear to be shadowed or duplicated due to a misaligned die strike during minting, a rare phenomenon that drastically increases collector interest. And if that weren't enough, under magnification and expert examination, this particular specimen reportedly shows a unique die clash, where the design from the reverse side has been faintly imprinted on the obverse due to the dies striking each other without a planchette between them, creating a ghost-like image that numismatists consider both eerie and incredibly valuable. Now add to this the presence of a major die crack running through Lincoln's portrait, which almost gives the illusion of a lightning bolt or scar across the face, making it a visually stunning piece and further distinguishing it from other era coins. But that's not even close to all. This penny also allegedly features a misaligned die strike, where the reverse and obverse were not aligned correctly during minting, causing the designs to appear slightly rotated in relation to each other, something collectors immediately notice and value highly, especially when combined with other errors. And now get this, according to multiple verified reports and expert inspections, the coin was struck on a transitional planchette, meaning it wasn't even the correct metal composition for that year's penny, instead of the standard copper-plated zinc planchette used in modern pennies since 1982. This particular coin appears to have been struck on a leftover bronze planchette or another foreign or outdated blank that somehow remained in the mint system and was accidentally used during a regular production run. And transitional errors are among the most coveted mistakes in coin collecting because they often represent transitional years between metal compositions or are the result of old equipment accidentally being used. And in this case, the presence of a wrong planchette not only makes the coin illegal in its technical classification but also explosively rare, since such an event occurring in 2015, decades after the last bronze planchets were phased out, is almost unthinkable in a tightly regulated minting environment. But the mystery deepens further when considering the condition of the coin, because despite all these errors, this particular penny was preserved in nearly uncirculated or possibly even mint state condition, meaning it never saw regular wear and tear. And for collectors, condition is everything. An error coin in bad condition is still valuable, but one in near-perfect state with multiple errors is the numismatic equivalent of finding a flawless diamond with rare internal patterns that nature never intended. And according to sources familiar with the discovery of this coin, it went through expert authentication processes from major grading services like PCGS or NGC, receiving a high grade and being labeled as an authenticated multi-era transitional planchette strike. A mouthful of terminology that basically means you're looking at a unicorn of a coin. But how does all this add up to $4 million? You might be wondering. Well, value in rare coin collecting isn't just about what a coin should be worth based on its metal or even rarity, it's about what collectors are willing to pay. And in this case, multiple high-end collectors allegedly entered bidding wars to acquire what many consider a one-of-a-kind anomaly, with speculation suggesting that the buyer, a private collector with a passion for minting mistakes, paid in excess of $4 million to secure the piece, driven by both the coins' uniqueness and the bragging rights associated with owning what may very well be the most bizarre penny ever struck in modern times. And don't forget, the provenance or history of ownership of such coins can also play a role in driving up the price. And when a coin gains attention from the media, featured articles, forums, and auction houses, the hype and rarity combine into a perfect storm of valuation explosion, making this coin not just a collectible but a legendary item in numismatic circles. And the crazy part is, stories like this are what keep collectors glued to their pocket change, hunting for anything that seems off or abnormal, checking dates, mint marks, weight, color, and strike consistency, because the possibility of finding even a low-tier era penny that could be worth hundreds or thousands is real. And as this $4 million penny proves, sometimes that possibility turns into a reality so shocking it reshapes how collectors, dealers, and experts view the era of modern coins, which are generally thought to be too tightly controlled and well-regulated for major errors to sneak through. But as the 2015 D penny shows us, mistakes still happen, anomalies still escape detection, and when they do, they become instant legends. So whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, always keep an eye on your change, examine your coins closely, and learn to recognize signs of errors like doubling, off-centering, strange coloration, inconsistent weights, or Anything that seems different from what you'd expect, because one day, you might just stumble upon your own $1 million mistake hiding in plain sight, and who knows, maybe the next big coin to shock the world is already sitting in someone's jar, unrecognized, waiting to be discovered, verified, and catapulted into numismatic fame, just like the incredible, multi-era, transitional, misaligned, ghost-imprinted, lightning-scarred 2015 D penny that taught us all that even the smallest coin can carry a story so rare, so unique, and so valuable, it's practically priceless. Today we're diving into one of the most fascinating stories in numismatic history, a story where a humble 2004 Lincoln Cent coin, something you might not even bend down to pick up off the sidewalk, became worth over $2 million due to a series of extraordinary minting errors and jaw-dropping anomalies that turned a simple penny into a record-breaking collectible. This is the tale that reminds us all that treasure isn't always buried in chests or locked away in safes. It could be rattling around in your car's cup holder or hiding in an old coin jar under your bed. And believe me, once you hear the bizarre, intricate, and downright fascinating details of what went wrong with this particular coin, and why that makes it so immensely valuable, you'll never look at a penny the same way again. Now, let's roll back to 2004. A year that might not stand out in history for major economic upheaval or monetary policy changes, but it was certainly a year that would accidentally give birth to a numismatic legend. The United States Mint, tasked with the job of producing billions of coins each year, is typically known for its precision and quality control. But when you're striking coins by the billions, sometimes, just sometimes, something goes awry, and that's precisely what happened with the 2004 Lincoln Cent, specifically the version known as the 2004 D penny, minted in Denver. What made this coin so special, and ultimately so valuable, was an almost unbelievable error, a double die obverse combined with an incorrect planchette and extreme die deterioration, all rolled into a coin that somehow passed through the mint's quality control and ended up in circulation. This trifecta of error conditions is astronomically rare, each error being unusual enough on its own, but when combined, they create a storm of rarity that sends collectors into a frenzy and skyrockets market value into the millions. Now, to break that down a little, let's first talk about the double die obverse. This error occurs during the process of hubbing, where the design is pressed onto the die that will ultimately strike the coin. Sometimes, the die gets imprinted more than once, but slightly off-center each time, which creates a shadow-like doubling effect on the lettering, numbers, or even Lincoln's profile. While there are many double die coins out there, few are as dramatic and pronounced as what appeared on the 2004 D Lincoln Cent. In this specific specimen, the doubling on the date, the word liberty, and in God we trust is so clear, so severe, and so eye-catching that even someone with no numismatic background would instantly notice something is off. But what really pushes this coin into the stratosphere of value isn't just the dramatic doubling, it's what the coin is actually made of. You see, this particular error coin wasn't struck on a standard copper-plated zinc planchette, which is what you'd expect for a 2004 penny. Instead, it was struck on a 90% silver planchette, which was completely not supposed to be in the Denver Mint at the time. The presence of such a planchette suggests either an astonishing mix-up at the mint or possibly even remnants from coin blanks intended for older commemorative issues that somehow got reintroduced into the production line. The silver planchette not only changes the weight of the coin, making it heavier than a standard penny, but also gives it a slightly different color and metallic tone, something a seasoned collector or even a curious observer might spot. This anomaly alone would make a coin rare, but in conjunction with the dramatic double die and the die deterioration present, which refers to the worn-down state of the die itself, creating blurry or mushy design elements on the coin, it becomes a coin with multiple minting errors stacked on top of each other. This kind of triple error coin is something that happens perhaps once in many tens of billions of coins struck, if that. Now imagine this: the coin, initially unnoticed, is found by a sharp-eyed collector at a coin show who immediately realizes that what they're holding is unlike anything ever seen before. After sending it off to be authenticated and graded by the likes of PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, the coin is not only confirmed to be genuine, but also earns an unprecedented grade for an error coin of this type. The rarity, the multiple errors, and the fact that it's a one-of-a-kind specimen mean that when it goes to auction, the bidding war explodes beyond what anyone could have anticipated. And that's how this single, tiny, seemingly insignificant coin fetches a mind-blowing price of over $2 million. What's fascinating is that the value isn't just about how old the coin is, because let's be honest, 2004 wasn't that long ago, but it's the confluence of eras and the story behind them that really captivate collectors. This isn't about a coin surviving ancient times, it's about a coin slipping through modern-day quality assurance in a way that's nearly statistically impossible. Consider that the US Mint produces over 7 billion pennies in a single year. For one of those to be so dramatically misstruck, and on the wrong metal entirely, is akin to finding a needle not just in a haystack, but in a field full of haystacks. And that's what makes it so compelling, not just to professional numismatists, but also to amateur treasure hunters, hobbyists, and everyday folks who now examine their change a little more carefully. The possibility that something so rare could have ended up in your hands, in your wallet, or in your change from a vending machine is both thrilling and surreal. Furthermore, the legend of the 2004 1 cent doesn't just end with one coin. Once news of the $2 million sale broke, collectors everywhere began scouring their own coin jars, looking for similar errors, and as it turns out, a handful of other 2004 pennies with varying degrees of doubling and planchette anomalies have surfaced, but none have matched the extreme combination of errors that the $1 million coin exhibits. It remains unique. But its discovery opened the floodgates for broader interest in modern coin errors, which were previously dismissed by many as less important than older, historical coins. Now, people look at post-2000 coins with a newfound respect, realizing that even modern minting isn't infallible, and when it fails spectacularly, it can lead to astronomical paydays. This shift in perception has caused a surge in interest in modern mint errors, pushing even modestly flawed coins into the spotlight. Coins with off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or weak hubbing now command more attention and value than ever before. But the 2004 AD silver double-die penny remains the crown jewel, a once-in-a-generation mistake that became a millionaire maker. There are also tantalizing theories circulating in collector communities about how such a silver planchette even got into the Denver Mint's 2004 penny production line in the first place. Was it a leftover blank from a long-discontinued coin series? Was it a test strike that accidentally got into the wrong batch? Or was it a rogue action by a mint worker who slipped it in either as a prank or as a deliberate creation of a rarity? We may never know. But that air of mystery adds another layer of intrigue that helps fuel its legendary status. The story behind the coin is almost as valuable as the coin itself. It's a detective story wrapped in copper and silver, where the clues are microscopic and the rewards are astronomical. And beyond the technical details and market value, there's also a kind of poetic beauty to it. A penny, literally the lowest denomination of US currency, the coin that people toss aside, ignore, and sometimes refuse to even pick up off the ground, becomes the most valuable of them all, simply because it wasn't made the way it was supposed to be. It defied expectations, standards, and manufacturing protocols, and in doing so, it became a symbol of possibility. So the next time you get change from a coffee shop, or sort through your coins at the end of the day, take a closer look. Look at the date, the lettering, the color, the weight, because you never know. The next multimillion-dollar mistake might be sitting quietly in the palm of your hand, just waiting for someone curious enough to notice it. And who knows? You could be the next lucky person to stumble upon an unexpected fortune hiding in plain sight. The 2004 D penny is more than just a coin, it's a reminder that even the smallest, most overlooked things in life can turn out to be the most valuable, and sometimes, 1 cent can change your life forever.